my legal team.
You can never touch it again. And you say, maybe I'm not gonna talk about this every day, whatever, but I'm gonna stand on business. I put my face. Face on this. I'm accepting the responsibility that this happened, and hopefully, you know, everybody is made whole at some point. Where you guys do what you want with this at this point. This is me, kind of like, you know what I mean. And what that does is, it kind of shows your intentions, right? Like, I just want to do right by this and everybody who participated in this.
I know you probably feel weird because, like, I'm sure people said some nasty things to you, and you're like, what is this? Who are these people? What is this space? Like,
well, hey, I'm.
So I have a second version of this real quick. I'm gonna remove this from the screen, and I'm gonna add another video file here. I got it right here.
I know I'm sucking my own dick right now, but I think as far as the people who come from our industry, I think I move close to the best. I get comment.
Wow.
Yo,
Big ups to me. Yo, shout out to me, by the way. I just want y'all to know, Choose Rich Nick, I'm putting everyone else in the industry on blast. I'm the greatest.
It's pretty much on a daily basis calling me a fucking scammer, etc., etc. There was another situation that happened inside FaZe. It's fucking so annoying, but a few members, a group of members, launched a token as a charity, as a charity spin narrative. It's like one of the most crazy things that ever happened in crypto. They all had to get kicked. I had to fucking talk to. You think Coffee's a little scary? I had to talk to this man every fucking day for like 2 weeks, and basically vindicate myself because there's all this speculation. Banks is a crypto guy. He obviously had to have something to do with it. I had to fucking basically open my books up to Coffee, and for the Banks had nothing to do with this. FaZe had nothing to do with this, but 5 members of FaZe did. So it'll always be tied back to me. I'll always forever, and you'll probably always forever get comments. You're a fucking scammer.
Sorry, so what's always tied back to him? The Hawk Tua token? I'm confused. Or maybe it was some other scam that happened? I'm like, I don't understand what happened there.
In that this is going to make it infinitely more hard for you to work in crypto. But what he just, the suggestion that he just made is far and away the best solve for this in the immediate and in the long term.
Oh, save the kids. Okay, so there was some token associated with him with save. Dude, that's a classic title. I have a story. I'll save that after we watch this recording. Save the kids is a hilarious quote. It's a very common quote used by certain info marketers and other sketchy salespeople. I'll bring it up afterwards. So let's watch the rest of this podcast.
Term, it's kind of the one, you know, I don't know. It's that was really good
because it happened. Yeah.
Buying in right now with what's on the market is there's 80%.
Yes.
That's not available.
What does that mean?
So obviously we don't want to run into a situation where you do that. You put $250,000 in. Because I'll be honest, if you did that, the market's probably going to react in a positive way because it is a great narrative and it is a really genuine gesture. I don't want to fucking guarantee.
For about 5 minutes, then everyone's gonna dump it. Also, the meme coin market is dead, so that's a whole other story.
Guarantee anything, but the token probably fucking rips to that point. It could even get to a point where it rips past all-time high, which for you, I think if the token ever exceeds the highest point it was ever at, I think that's a really comfy spot for you to finally be like, I did what I needed to do and I did right by this product launch in crypto. That's personally me. That's how I would receive it. But that being said, we don't want to be in a position where this fucking token is ripping and these same people who fucked you over that own 80% of it are getting rich in the process, right? Like that cannot happen. So that's the biggest. How do we solve that?
I don't know. I'm scared to touch that coin.
Yeah, the devs that have the 80%.
You should be. You should be.
I'm horrified of it.
You should be.
If that's the case, then the devs that have the 80% need to agree to lock it too. And if I don't know if there's interest, I don't know, but
I think probably you guys who we do still have open lines of communication with, who fucking built this thing, I think you aggressively go in contact and communicate the fact that, listen, we as a team have decided that this is probably the best route to go for Haley, because at the end of the day, your name, your likeness, your brand, your
It's
face,
all over it.
you're so sweet. Let's fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucking, yeah, that we need to figure out that. Maybe, I mean, you guys are probably, like, the communication between team and you guys right now probably looks pretty aggressive as it is, right? Like, lawsuits, I know how it goes, as it should. They fucked you over big time. So maybe even using that as leverage of, like, help us make right by this. You need to listen to everything we're about to tell you to do. And, you know what I mean? Maybe we don't go fucking as hard legally on it. Yeah, that 80%, that's obviously the biggest hurdle.
So who has that? The 80%.
The dev.
What is
they
dev?
control the 80% of the developer.
Based out of where?
Based out of San Francisco.
Well, that's better than China.
Oh, shots fired! Shots fired at the Chinese!
Just as far as, by the way, just as far as access goes, San Francisco's up the street.
okay.
The language
It
there,
cut-
China. It's okay.
Understood. Yeah, I think that's the next step, honestly. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, it happened, and it's like on chain, like things always gonna exist. Trump launched a coin. Like, again, I come back to, I just don't think that there's an issue with a meme coin in the world. Like, that's not the problem. It's the pre-sale. It's the fact that the pre-sales got unlocked on day one. It's the fact that he put the wallet address out, so we got sniped. It was like a pretty poorly executed.
What would have been the best way she could have executed? Just for everybody watching this and any future, like, because I feel like this will be cited.
The best way to do it would have been not to do it.
I agree. I was just about to say that.
That would be like the number one best way to do it. And the second best way would be if someone else made it and they sent you, you know, some percentage supply, and then like you're like, all right, you guys can do it, and whatever. Like the founder of Pump Fund recently, his name's Alon, and their product. You want to talk about what their product does? Well, yeah, there's this thing called Pump Fund where it makes it really easy for anybody to launch a coin, and so people anonymously all over the internet are like launching coins.
Some people think it's the worst thing ever for crypto. Some people love it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It exists. But my point in bringing that up is the founder of it didn't drop a coin, but somebody else dropped a coin of his name, and he kind of endorsed it.
Yeah.
He soft endorsed it. The moment he did that, that became his token. No, he didn't know the team. He didn't know anything. It was just like, okay, this is the one, and then the market decides what to do from there, right?
That's what I put it is the way that this was structured from everything I've heard so far is like you're trying to make a business almost out of a fucking meme coin, and this is what I think the internet just like hates, right? In reality, it's like a meme coin that should honestly belong to the internet and the community and whoever's like speculating and trading on it, but it was made into this like venture, and with that venture, now there's all these mouths to feed, all these guys with pre-sale.
Everyone has a hand in it.
Everyone has a hand in it, you know. So
people are expecting things from you, expecting you to execute on things, like expecting a product,
deliverables.
Yeah.
All these people to feed.
That's why Trump's engaged the way that he has in his token. He hasn't really talked much about it. He's probably not going to talk a ton about it. It's out there. It's for the market.
Please, yeah.
It's for the
one tweet.
It's for the market. It's for the market to decide. And yeah, the more he talks about it, the more complicated it's going to be, and the more he engages with it and participates in it, the more complicated it's going to be.
Hindsight's obviously 2020, but for future use, the best way to come into a new space, and specifically crypto, is to not to make money from it and launch a coin.
For sure. To invest money into it. That's
best way would have been like, all right, this crypto thing seems cool. I'm gonna fuck around and throw a little bit of money at Bitcoin and just like maybe go to the conference. Bitcoin.
You're familiar with Aiden Ross, yeah? You're familiar with Aiden Ross, the streamer?
Sure.
That's so fun. That's awesome. That's
Sure.
awesome. That's awesome. So he's one of the biggest streamers on earth, and he's a dear friend of mine. I would even maybe go as far to consider him a brother to me. We've lived together for 2 years, and I saw his come up, and I saw him explode on this.
I mean, they got funny pictures together. Also, shout out to Frank D Gods. Yo, he's the only real one here, man. This guy's real as shit. Shout out to Frank. Stays humble, out there on the grind, making shit happen. He's legit. I don't care what hate he gets. He's the best.
Scene, and we have very intimate, like, personal conversations. Obviously, he knows that I do crypto on this level, and he's had all these questions for me over the last couple weeks post Trump launch, right?
2 seconds. Already gone.
Okay. Here we go.
Bro,
Take
bro,
2.
Bro. Just hold on to that, bro. I believe in you.
Samantha, I can't get up.
I believe in you.
Okay. The tip. You see the tip? That's the only way that I was able to get up. Okay.
Are you skiing or something?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
We need to call police.
No, we're good. We're good.
What are you?
No, but I have damage.
Here, get my number. Get my number. I'll pay everything.
No, that's not the point. Okay, I need to
Please.
call now.
No, please
No.
don't. Please don't. Please.
No,
Please don't.
I have to
Please,
follow the
please,
law.
please don't. Please.
You are the witness.
Please don't. Please don't. Please.
No.
I'm asking you, God forbid. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
way more money than I made. It was one of the most miserable experiences of my life because that moment got me into crypto. I got investigated by the SEC for fucking like 2 years over this. It cost me way more money than I made. It was one of the most miserable experiences of my life because
what we do if I pull up to your block, fool? That's why I thought. You won't do nothing, fool. You're scared of me, fool. Cause I'm a crazy vato, fool, and I'm really out here in these streets, fool. Aight, fool? What's up, fool? What you look?
Who is this woman? What is she doing?
I don't even know.
This is insane.
I'm not leaving.
This is what Jews in New York City have to deal with in a place of business. It's my office, Nora. Okay?
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
She got it with you?
No. No, I asked him if he did.
أنا اسمي ألف لام ميم. هذيك الكتاب كلها في هدى للمتقين.
I'm just hoping that this person has a mental.
للمتقين. I demand jihad. I demand jihad. I want ISIS to kill all of you.
Okay.
All right, somebody call the cops.
I think the.
I'm conspiring
Sammy,
with Hamas, Palestinian Jihad, and ISIS.
Okay.
I am conspiring with them.
Okay, this is gonna go right to the FBI.
Perfect.
Holy cow. Are a hateful bigot. Huh? Who is this woman? What is she doing?
I don't even know.
Shitcoin, never knew how to get into shitcoins. I understand what a shitcoin is. Good job.
All right, pee-pee girl.
Be careful. No, I got the police. Blow it.
Blow pee.
Wait, what?
No.
She do?
What is she doing, dude? There is no way. Tyler, what is she doing?
Why doesn't she just jump it right now?
I am so confused.
And is that even gonna work?
What is she doing? Tyler. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There's no way this works.
There is no way. Why is she shutting it? Did she say she's okay?
She just said she's got it, I guess. I guess she's done it before.
I guess she's. I guess.
Morning, I'ma put a ring on it. 14 carats, horse and carriage, Cinderella, I'm that.
Shit, Monique.
Hey, Mo. He won. He won.
You're sorry, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What we here doing, David? What we here doing, David?
What? Excuse me, everybody.
Stop, bro.
Why? Why? You gonna talk? Okay, excuse me, everybody. You keep moving. Hey, excuse me, everybody.
You want a threesome with a 13-year-old?
This man right here
came to meet a 13-year-old girl. Punch you on this shit. This man right here came to meet a 13-year-old girl. Dance Against Predators. You came to meet a 13-year-old girl. We know where he lived, that yellow truck in front of everything.
Can you stop, bro?
No, we're gonna walk you all the way home.
No, you're not, bro.
Or what?
Yeah,
What?
I'm just trying to have some fun.
You was just trying to have some fun with a 13-year-old girl? Telling her
she's 19, bro.
Bro, I'll smack you in your mouth. Lie to me. Lie to me.
She says she's 19. Nigga, don't smack me.
Or what?
Hey, watch
Or
your
what?
fucking mouth.
Well, I'll grab you by your little throat. I'll grab you by your little throat, bitch.
You gonna stop?
No, you're here to meet a little kid. 13 years
She
old.
said she was 19. She didn't
Bro,
tell me
we have
she was
all the
13.
messages. Then why did you say?
So what we doing here?
So what we doing here?
You
You're
need to fucking tell the truth on why you came here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
You're sorry for what?
Hey, don't jump. All right, you just
You
said
fucked up
sorry,
in the
so
head?
don't jump back to no bullshit. All right, so keep this sorry shit. So explain why you.
No,
came
we're
here.
walking you home. We're telling everybody at your crib. We're telling everybody.
Joe, do this nigga greasy.
Oh, Joe.
Joe, do this nigga greasy.
do this? Should I do that? Luckily for him, you know, he has somebody who he can trust, and you know, we've told him all this same stuff. We're actually going to go visit him this weekend. This probably even comes out after we go visit him, but that's our whole onboarding process with Aiden. It's make a crypto Twitter, follow these accounts, join these communities, learn about it, invest money into Bitcoin, and then maybe pick a couple spots that like speak to you in terms of just who you are and what you're interested in. Because then what that does is you start to extend your network, you start to build a network of people who you can learn from. That's the biggest thing. Is entering a space
pick
like
up
this.
pieces along the way.
Yeah, entering a space like this, I'm still fucking retardio when it comes to like this whole crypto thing. But
Me too.
but and I've been doing this for 5 years. You know what I mean? I have these guys. I live with these guys. I'm fortunate enough for that. But that being said, I've been in here for 5 years. I could have launched an NFT project last cycle and probably printed 8 figures on it. Safe to say, yeah.
Yeah,
And I didn't, right? Because I just knew, you know, the longer term play is to just participate. There's going to be opportunities for all of us because this is where the future is being built, is crypto.
Yeah.
If you're not learning about crypto or AI, I really hope whatever you're doing, you're totally fucking in love with, because everybody else is fucked. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is where the future is.
It does make me feel better, like hearing y'all talk, but like y'all know everything. Like I feel like y'all do everything the right way. But I don't want to
Not
buy
everything.
too much in that because I thought my guy was doing everything the right
Again,
way.
not everything. Again, like I said, my entry to crypto was similar. You know what I mean? It was
You had to learn from it though.
for sure, and that's those are the
And you got a good team with you too. I had a dumbass working for me.
for sure.
Oh, bless him.
Again, that best case scenario, dream scenario, Frank's suggestion, unironically, is fucking 10 out of 10 perfect, I think, in my opinion.
I think the reason
So-
he suggested to take the money that you earned and to put it back in the token, one, it probably feels like blood money. I'm not even sure you
It's
want the money.
dirty.
You don't want that money.
That
Very
money is
dirty.
gross. Two, it's sort of like you could kind of say anything. Like we could say whatever on this podcast, and apologies are helpful, and it goes some distance. But to actually put the money back in and be like, I didn't make any money from this, and for the people that are down, like this is the best thing I can do to help you, and sort of wipe my hands clean and say that you tried, is definitely number two, the best thing you could do. And I think the third is like, it probably feels really weird and uncomfortable right now, even to be talking. We're these weird guys. We just walked in. We're talking about crypto. We're saying big words, but like your life, especially being this famous person on the internet, will intersect with like the money of the internet, crypto, again at a later point, and you don't want to have this like looming elephant in the room, like uncomfortable situation, or maybe you do have a clean, awesome opportunity to like help crypto and do a positive thing, but you're uncomfortable and afraid of it because of like what happened.
Yeah, what I said as far as how you know the response from the general community, and there are gonna be people who only saw that part of it, never gave a fuck enough to like explore what actually happened, right? So you're gonna see comments for the rest of the time about this.
I still see Logan Paul getting comments all the time.
100%. I mean, again, like I said.
But what did Logan Paul do? He paid him back.
Yeah, he had to make it right. And yeah, I don't know. It's at least when you see these comments in your own mind, you'll know that you made your best effort, and you'll know that your conscience is clear on it. And yeah, I can't explain to you like how important I feel like that. If you have a soul, which you feel like you have a lot of soul.
I got a soul.
Yeah,
I
it
reckon.
feels like you do. I reckon. Oh,
I reckon. And I know there's a lot of legal stuff. I don't even know.
What was that? Anybody catch that? All right.
What has to get figured out in the background, but let it
It's a
be
mess.
known it was Frank Degod's suggestion. I think it's the best one.
No, I think so too. And I don't want anybody to misconstrue any of this as like us fucking like letting you off the hook or like pretending like nothing was done wrong. You definitely did a lot of things wrong here. Most things wrong here. But in our opinion, there is a way to fix it. I think that's the next steps. I think focusing hard on fixing it above all else. Fuck all the legal shit. Fuck any partners that led her to slaughter on this. Like, with all due respect, fuck all those people. And get to a place where you can, you know.
Real quick, if for those have been asking, where's the full video of this? I'm just uploading the whole.
Shout out Christian Stark. He made these for me.
I feel like it wouldn't be an episode to talk to if I didn't ask my life. Put money in it too.
I think we all think
We definitely did it. We definitely did it.
I didn't even touch this token. Never put it in. There was a clone of it. I forgot what it was called. Maybe it was like was this the Hawk token? And then there was a Tua token. I think I had whatever the clone of it was.
I got one more question. Are those real screws in your ears?
No, they're not. There's a little bar between.
I thought those were so fucking cool.
You like 'em?
I looked over, I was like, those gotta be real screws.
Yeah. Shout out Christian Stark. He made these for me.
I feel like it wouldn't be an episode to talk to if I didn't ask my last question. Do I ask it 3 times?
Just ask it.
I'll go around the room. What's one move in bed that makes a woman go crazy?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I had to hit you with the final question.
Frank, what's your answer?
No, you gotta go first.
The Hawk Tua.
I'll go last. It's the forehead kiss, nose kiss. Kiss
There you
each one of
go.
their eyeballs. Tell them they're sweet.
Kiss their eyeballs?
Turn their head. You have amazing bone structure. You have a beautiful side profile. Squeeze them. Tell them you love them.
That's the joke, right?
And then, yeah, then you can have.
There you go. He's a...
I just watch Ricky and do whatever he does.
I'm the Osama bin Laden of love bomb.
Okay.
We can cut that. We can cut that. It's been a pleasure to meet you. You really are a sweetheart. And yeah, we're here now. So you have my number.
thank
Hit me up for anything. This is a wacky world you found yourself in.
You're not
A
kidding.
fun one, though.
And it's only going to get crazier, and it's very, very important, not even just in crypto, that you have people in your life that you can lean on and ask for advice to. And I play that role for a lot of people in this industry, and it's what I'm most passionate about. Peace, love, and Haley Welch. Hawk Tua.
All right. That's it for this, for the actual podcast.
we are becoming cyborgs. Like, our brains are fundamentally changed. Everyone who grew up with electronics, we are fundamentally different from Homo sapiens. I call us Homo techno. I think we have evolved into Homo techno, which is like essentially a new species. Previous technologies, I mean, may have even been more profound and moved us to a certain degree, but I think the computers are what make us Homo techno. I think this is what, it's a brain augmentation. So it like allows for actual evolution. Like the computers accelerate the degree to which all the other technologies can also be accelerated.
Would you classify yourself as a Homo sapien or a Homo techno?
Definitely Homo techno.
So you're
I think
the
we're all-
early, you're one of the early of the species.
I think most of us are.
The following is a conversation with Grimes, an artist, musician, songwriter, producer, director, and a fascinating human being who thinks a lot about both the history and the future of human civilization, studying the dark periods of our past to help form an optimistic vision of our future. This is the Lex Friedman Podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. And now, dear friends, here's Grimes.
Oh yeah, the cloud lifter. There you go.
There you go. You know your stuff. Have you ever used the cloud lifter?
Yeah, I actually, this microphone cloud lifter is what Michael Jackson used. So.
No, really?
Yeah, this is like Thriller and stuff.
This mic
This
and
mic
the cloud lifter?
and that, yeah, it's a incredible microphone.
Yes.
It's very flattering on vocals. I've used this a lot. It's great for demo vocals. It's great in a room. Like, sometimes it's easier to record vocals if you're just in a room and like the music's playing and you just want to like feel it, and it's not in the headphones. And this mic is pretty directional, so I think it's like a good mic for like just vibing out and just getting a real good vocal take.
Just vibing. Just in a room.
Anyway, this is the Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones microphone.
Feel way more badass now. All right, let's get in. You want to just get into it?
I guess so.
All right. One of your names, at least in this space and time, is C, like the letter C. And you told me that C means a lot of things. It's the speed of light. It's the render rate of the universe. It's yes in Spanish, crescent moon, and it happens to be my favorite programming language because it basically runs the world, but it's also powerful, fast, and is dangerous because you can mess things up really bad with it because of all the pointers. But anyway, which of these associations with the name C is the coolest to you?
I mean, to me, the coolest is the speed of light, obviously. Or speed of light. When I say render rate of the universe, I think I mean the speed of light, because essentially that's what we're rendering at. See, I think we'll know if we're in a simulation if the speed of light changes, because if they can improve their render speed, then
That's already pretty good.
it's already pretty good. But if it improves, then we'll know. You know, we can probably be like, okay, they've updated or upgraded.
What's fast enough for us humans because it seems like it seems immediate. There's no delay. There's no latency in terms of like us humans on Earth interacting with things. But if you're like intergalactic species operating on a much larger scale, then you're gonna start noticing some weird stuff. Or if you can operate in like around a black hole, then you're gonna start to see some
Well, but,
render
like,
issues.
You can't go faster than the speed of light, correct? So it really limits our ability, one's ability to travel space.
Theoretically, you can. You have wormholes. So there's nothing in general relativity that precludes faster than speed of light travel. But it just seems you're going to have to do some really funky stuff with very heavy things that have like weirdnesses that have basically tears in space-time. We don't know how to do that.
Dune navigators know how to do it.
Dune navigators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folding space.
I think
Basically
that-
making wormholes.
So, the name C.
Yes.
Who are you? Are you? Do you think of yourself as multiple people? Are you one person? Do you know, like this morning, were you a different person than you are tonight? We are, I should say, recording this basically at midnight, which is awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think I'm about 8 hours late.
No, you're right on time. Good morning. This is the beginning of a new day soon. Anyway, are you the same person you were in the morning, in the evening? Is there multiple people in there? Do you think of yourself as one person, or maybe you have no clue? Or are you just a giant mystery to yourself?
Okay, these are really intense questions, but
Let's go. Because I asked this myself. Like, look in the mirror. Who are you? People tell you to just be yourself, but what does that even mean?
I mean, I think my personality changes with everyone I talk to. So I have a very inconsistent personality. Yeah.
Person to person. So the interaction, your personality
Or
materializes.
my mood. Like I'll go from being like a megalomaniac to being like, just like a total hermit who is very shy.
So some combinatorial combination of your mood and the person you're interacting with.
Yeah, mood and people I'm interacting with. But I think everyone's like that. Maybe not.
Well, not everybody acknowledges it and able to introspect it. Who brings out, what kind of person, what kind of mood brings out the best in you as an artist and as a human? Can you introspect this?
Like my best friends, like people I can, when I'm like super confident and I know that they're gonna understand everything I'm saying. So like my best friends, then when I can start being really funny, that's always my like peak mode. But it's like, yeah, takes a lot to get there.
Let's talk about constraints. You've talked about constraints and limits. Do those help you out as an artist or as a human being, or do they get in the way? Do you like the constraints? So in creating music, in creating art, in living life, do you like the constraints that this world puts on you? Or do you hate them?
If constraints are moving, then you're good. Right? Like it's like as we are progressing with technology, we're changing the constraints of like artistic creation. Making video and music and stuff is getting a lot cheaper. There's constantly new technology and new software that's making it faster and easier. We have so much more freedom than we had in the 70s. Like when Michael Jackson, when they recorded Thriller with this microphone, like they had to use a mixing desk and all this stuff, and like probably even get in a studio is probably really expensive, and you have to be a really good singer, and you have to know how to use the mixing desk and everything. And now I can just I've made a whole album on this computer. I have a lot more freedom, but then I'm also constrained in different ways because there's like literally millions more artists. It's like a much bigger playing field. It's just like I didn't learn music. I'm not a natural musician, so I don't know anything about actual music. I just know about like the computer. So I'm really kind of just like messing around and like trying things out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the nature of music is changing. So you're saying you don't know actual music. Well, music is changing. Music is becoming, you talked about this, is becoming, it's like merging with technology.
Yes.
It's becoming something more than just like the notes on a piano. It's becoming some weird composition that requires engineering skills, programming skills, some kind of human robot interaction skills, and still some of the same things that Michael Jackson had, which is like a good ear for a good sense of taste of what's good and not the final thing, what is put together. Like you're enabled, empowered with a laptop to layer stuff, to start like layering insane amounts of stuff, and it's super easy to do that.
I do think music production is a really underrated art form. I feel like people really don't appreciate it. When I look at publishing splits, the way that people like pay producers and stuff, it's super. Like producers are just deeply underrated. Like so many of the songs that are popular right now or for the last 20 years, like part of the reason they're popular is because the production is really interesting or really sick or really cool. And it's like I don't think listeners like people just don't really understand what music production is. It's not. It's sort of like this weird, discombobulated art form. It's not like a formal because it's so new. There isn't like a formal training path for it. It's mostly driven by like autodidacts. Like it's like almost everyone I know who's good at production, like they didn't go to music school or anything. They just taught themselves.
Are they mostly different? Like the music producers you know, is there some commonalities that tie them together, or are they all just different kinds of weirdos? Because I just hung out with Rick Rubin. I don't know if you've.
Yeah, I mean Rick Rubin is like literally one of the gods of music production. Like he's one of the people who first, who like made music production, made the production as important as the actual lyrics or the notes.
But the thing he does, which is interesting, I don't know if you can speak to that, but just hanging out with him, he seems to just sit there in silence, close his eyes, and listen. It's like he almost does nothing. And that nothing somehow gives you freedom to be the best version of yourself. So that's music production somehow too, which is like encouraging you to do less, to simplify, to like push towards minimalism.
I mean, I work differently from Rick Rubin because Rick Rubin produces for other artists, whereas like I mostly produce for myself.
Yeah.
So it's a very different situation. I also think Rick Rubin, he's in that I would say advanced category of producer where like you've like earned you can have an engineer and stuff and people like do the stuff for you.
Yeah.
But I usually just like do stuff myself.
So you're the engineer, the producer, and the artist.
Yeah, I guess I would say I'm in the era, like the post Rick Rubin era. Like I come from the kind of like Skrillex school of thought, which is like where you are, yeah, the engineer, producer, artist. Like where I mean lately sometimes I'll work with a producer now. I'm gently sort of delicately starting to collaborate a bit more, but like I think I'm kind of from the like the whatever 2010s explosion of things where you know, everything became available on the computer and you kind of got this like lone wizard energy thing going.
So you embrace being the loneliness. Is the loneliness somehow an engine of creativity? Like, so most of your stuff, most of your creative, quote unquote, genius in quotes, is in the privacy of your mind.
Yes. Well, it was. Um, but here's the thing. I was talking to Daniel Eck and he said, he's like, most artists, they have about 10 years, like 10 good years. And then they usually stop making their like vital shit. And I feel like I'm sort of like nearing the end of my 10 years on my own. And
So you have to become somebody else.
now I'm like I'm in the process of becoming somebody else and reinventing. When I work with other people, because I've never worked with other people, I find that I make like that I'm exceptionally rejuvenated and making like some of the most vital work I've ever made. So because I think another human brain is like one of the best tools you can possibly find. Like
It's a funny way to put it. I love it.
it's like if a tool is like, you know, whatever HP +1 or like adds some like stats to your character, like another human brain will like square it instead of just like adding something.
double up the experience points. I love this. We should also mention we're playing tavern music before this, and which I love. Which I first when I think I
You had to stop the tavern music.
Yeah, because it doesn't the audio.
Okay.
But it makes
Yeah, it'll make the podcast
add it
annoying.
in post.
No one will want to listen to the podcast if
They probably would, but it reminds me like of a video game, like a role playing video game where you have experience points. There's something really joyful about wandering places like Elder Scrolls, like Skyrim, just exploring these landscapes in another world, and then you get experience points, and you can work on different skills, and somehow you progress in life. And I don't know, it's simple. It doesn't have some of the messy complexities of life, and there's usually a bad guy you can fight. In Skyrim, it's dragons and so on. I'm sure in Elden Ring there's a bunch of monsters you can fight. I love that.
I feel like Elden Ring, I feel like this is a good analogy to music production though, because it's like I feel like the engineers and the people creating these open worlds are it's sort of like similar to music producers where it's like this hidden archetype that like no one really understands what they do and no one really knows who they are, but they're like it's like the artist engineer because it's like it's both art and fairly complex engineering.
Well, you're saying they don't get enough credit. Aren't you kind of changing that by becoming the person doing everything? Isn't the engineer?
Well, I mean, others have gone before me. I'm not, you know, there's like Timbaland and Skrillex, and there's all these people that are like, you know, very famous for this. But I just think I think people get confused about what it is and just don't really know what it is per se. And it's just when I see a song, like when there's like a hit song, like I'm just trying to think of like just going for like even just a basic pop hit like what's it like Rules by Dua Lipa or something. The production on that is actually like really crazy. I mean the song is also great, but it's like the production is exceptionally memorable, like you know, and it's just like no one I don't even know who produced that song. It just like isn't part of like the rhetoric of how we discuss the creation of art. We just sort of like don't consider the music producer. because I think the music producer used to be more just simply recording things.
Yeah, that's interesting because when you think about movies, we talk about the actor and the actresses, but we also talk about the director.
Directors, yeah.
And we don't talk about like that with the music as often.
The Beatles music producer was one of the first people sort of